elimination and won. Maybe that's their path to victory. So we still only have 4 eliminations. It's getting late early. We need to eliminate some teams, which is why 2 teams this week are facing elimination that aren't even playing. The Raiders and the Cardinals are on a bye. They could get eliminated on a bye. It's possible. Well, we'll see. We got to see what the committee decides on.
Okay.
But those are the teams facing elimination. Hey, they're trying. Browns, Giants, Texans.
Yeah.
Browns and Texans are trying defensively. And they're actually pretty damn good. In Texans' case, great. In Browns' case, really good defensively. Giants, they're trying on both sides of the ball and then invented a way to lose. But those teams have not rolled over. Those teams, and I don't think you oddly want to see either of those teams on your schedule or any of those teams on your schedule. Look at what you've done to Brew. It's just by themselves. It's just their own tier, and it's because they put our guy Brew in shambles. He's out here talking about video games and Parcheesi and foosball, and whether or not only allowing the Rams to score 5 times as many points as you did in a game was actually a sign that you've turned the page and things are coming up your way. That's what you've done to our guy Brew. This is for Hubs and the other young folks out there. Decidedly mid. These teams are combined 17 and 16. 1 game above 500. All 5 of them do a few things kind of well, do a few things kind of poorly. And if your team loses to any of these 5 teams, you're like, man, that's one that got away.
Yep.
We should. You look at your schedule, you're like, man, how did we lose? Trust me. You're like, how did we lose to the Jags? What happened there? Especially post-tackle turn the tide. Potentially intriguing. Bears, Chargers, Bengals, Cowboys. I'm not closing the door on any of these 4 teams because for the Bears, it feels like they've gone on this winning streak without their quarterback playing great. For the Chargers, they have gotten Joe Alt back now, and you wonder if Herbert can get back to how he was playing beginning of the year. The Bengals, Joe Flacco just loves football, loves his family, loves chucking that sucker deep, and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins want to catch it. And the Cowboys are the most prolific offense in football. So they're all intriguing for different reasons. KW, what is this? What is it?
Well, it's not the standings. Well, what is it not?
No, it's the tier. It's the tiers. Let's try it again. What is this, KW?
Oh my gosh.
What is this? Just say the tiers. The tiers. What is this not?
Okay. Oh, it's not the standings.
Thank you. Okay, not the standings.
The world.
My gosh.
Well, you got a team.
I don't care that these 3 teams. I don't care that these 3 teams are combined 16 and 5. The Niners are They are not higher despite their record purely because of the injuries. Their 2 best future Hall of Fame defenders are both, I don't know if Nick Bosa is officially future Hall of Fame yet, but the Hall of Fame trajectory and Fred Warner is future Hall of Famer, they're out. And so they are, to me, as impressive as it is, they're 5-2, they're not as good as their 5-2 record. The Colts and the Broncos, I flatly don't think you can quite keep this up. And it's different. This is. For the Colts, Greg can roll his eyes all he wants off camera. Greg agrees with me on this. I don't think the Colts are going to keep up being the most prolific offense in the history of the NFL.
Fair.
I just don't think that Daniel Jones to Alec Pierce is the modern day Brady to Moss, but right now they're all outstripping it. I don't think that's going to sustain, and I don't think the Broncos being 2 touchdowns down entering 4th quarters is going to be a sustainable model. Good records. Luckily, this is not the standings. Earned their respect. Patriots, Seahawks, Steelers.
Take it.
Greg, what's the problem?
Just continue, please.
My good. Okay, I don't even know what Greg's mad at. For real, I don't. Patriots, have they played a soft schedule? Yes. Have they looked, though, like a well-rounded, prolific offense post-week 1? Yes. The one loss they have in that stretch, they turn the ball over 5 times. I think, while I do think they're going to be a team that turns the ball over because a young quarterback, it's not going to be 5 times in a game, and Vrabel has them buttoned up. I think the Seahawks are they're flying under the radar, interesting team. Jackson Smith-Njigba has been awesome. That defensive line is excellent. I think Mike McDonald's legit. And Sam Darnold trying to stave off pumpkin mode, which he wasn't able to at the end of last season. We'll see if he can. And the Steelers, I do think the defense should be better than it is. Yeah. And Rodgers has not folded. Like Greg's all mad. Greg,
I am. Continue.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. Champions with concerns. Both teams started 4-0. Both teams then lost 2 straight. The Eagles then bounced back. We'll see if the Bills do this weekend. But because they are champions, the Eagles winning last year's Super Bowl, the Bills winning 5 of the last 6 Septembers. We do expect and respect the fact that they can steady themselves, particularly because they have MVP candidate, or the defending Super Bowl MVP at quarterback and the defending league MVP at quarterback. But there are concerns, be it Philly's running game or the Bills' defense, there are concerns. Need to make a run. And by a run, I mean at least to the conference championship game, if not to the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay has won the division 4 years in a row, post winning the Super Bowl, have not made a conference championship game. Green Bay has been to 3 of the last 4 postseasons without making a conference championship game. And Green Bay has gone 15 years, 11 of which they were a playoff team, without making another Super Bowl. These are 2 of the most consistent franchises in the NFL right now, but they haven't gone on the deep playoff runs in the 2020s the way you would hope. Can win anyway, the Lions and the Rams, where the Lions showed it to you this past week, they can win with defense. The Rams have been winning with defense in some part throughout the entire season, but obviously they both have number 1 overall pick, Pro Bowl level quarterbacks with legitimate weapons and excellent, albeit very different head coaches. And then atop the tiers, the rightful place, the team that is chasing history.
Yep. It's funny. Someone, a really obsessed KC Mahomes fan said, "Why do you stop it before Kansas City?" Because he says the same thing again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And I don't really care. So that's why. But I don't really like these tiers. I love them. I don't. This is such a mess. This is just a collection of the teams that Nick just likes. These aren't tiers. These aren't rankings. These are just like, what are the teams that I just like? Like that's literally what this is right now. That's literally what this is. First of all, I love like, oh, the Seattle Seahawks are actually going sneaky under the radar. No, they're only under the radar if you're not watching them actually play football. And no, Sam Darnold didn't turn into a pumpkin. If that was the case, then Patrick Mahomes turned into a pumpkin. Justin Herbert turned into a pumpkin. Lamar Jackson turned into a pumpkin. Josh Allen turned, every quarterback except for Jalen Hurts turned into a pumpkin. I don't know what to tell you. So this whole idea that like Sam Darnold is under a constant pumpkin watch is exhausting. It really is. The downplaying of what the Indianapolis Colts are doing here is insane to me. And that's what Greg is obviously so upset about, because it's absolutely insanity. The Colts have been awesome. Daniel Jones has been awesome. Coaching matters. I don't know why I have to keep saying this so many times. Coaching matters, coaching matters, coaching matters. You know what Kurt Warner just said? He said, I would love to play. He goes, there is no other coach that I would want to play for right now than Shane Steichen. That's what he said. Not Andy, not Shanahan, not McVay. He said Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen. That's what he said. Why, guys? Say it with me. Coaching matters. This is what Kurt Warner said. There are some really good OC offensive head coach play designers out there I would love to play for, but I'm not sure there is one I would rather play for right now than Shane Steichen. I love the play designs, the innovation to change looks while using good solid concepts, and the way he gives quarterback answers on each play. You know what's hilarious? What do I always say about getting answers? I say this literally all the time. All the time I say answers, I say the coach gotta give the quarterback answers, gotta give them a solution to the problem. I say that all the time, specifically when dealing with pressure. Specifically when dealing with pressure. Something that I have said a million times. Glad me and Kurt Warner see the same way. He sees the game like I see that game. Me and you, Kurt. Me and you. And that's so important for a QB. It's not just a good play, but a good play that connects to how your QB sees the game. Huge difference in the two. The best quarterback play designer combos in the league, in my opinion, are those whose plays connect perfectly to play style of their quarterback. So you are downplaying that connection right now with Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. That's what you're doing. That's why you doubt them. That's why you doubted Sam Darnold and Kevin O'Connell, and now Sam Darnold and Clint Kubiak. Which is funny. I guess it's kind of consistent because it also maintains the downplaying of the connection of Mahomes and Andy, but whatever. So yeah, that's crazy to me. This whole idea too that when you start to go down at these lower tiers, right? If we're looking at the Bears, the Cowboys, the Bengals, the Chargers, etc., they're all there. This is why tiers at this point, why I started shifting the way how I did my tiers, how I do my rankings. And now I posted the first time where I said I'm doing it now where it's truly just week to week. Just like how I do my quarterback mountain, where it's just this previous week, nothing else. Nothing else. Because then that really allows things to move and fluctuate more. Because what are you supposed to do with teams right now, like the Cowboys, the Bengals, right? The Chargers have been decimated with injuries. The Bears are winning, but they haven't quite put it together, but there is the potential that they can. We're just not sure. Have to wait and see. The Colts are winning, but you're like, I don't believe in them, right? The Broncos are winning, like, I don't believe in them. The 49ers are winning, like, I don't believe in them, right? Like, you're just like, right? The Eagles beat the Bucks, beat the Rams, and beat the Chiefs. The Eagles actually beat all the better teams ahead of them, the only team there, and yet look how low they are. And it's like, because I don't like the way they're playing. And like, to a degree, you can have those valid arguments because I agree, it's not the standings. And it's why I had the Kansas City Chiefs really high, even when they were winless. They were legitimately winless and then struggled to beat the Giants. And I was like, I think they're going to be a good team. And the problem is then you're always kicking that can down the road. The Eagles beat the Rams, and it's like, it was a weird one. The Eagles beat the Bucks, you're like, that was a weird one. The Eagles beat the Chiefs, you're like, that was a weird one. You're like, okay, well then what's not weird then? What's, I don't know, but the Patriots beat the Titans. And? Yeah, they beat the Titans. It's like, okay, and? So, the Seahawks and the Bucks came down to the wire. Arguably the most exciting game, except for maybe the Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco, that back and forth. Those are arguably the two most exciting games we've gotten outside of obviously these crazy comeback wins like with the Eagles and the Broncos and whatnot. But like actually legitimately like back and forth competitive games. How are the Seahawks multiple levels below the Bucks? How? Why? Sam Darnold is yet to play as poorly as Baker Mayfield did against the Detroit Lions. It's just a fact. And it's just a fact. It's not an opinion. It's a literal fact. Baker Mayfield floor so far this season was just proved to be lower than what Sam Darnold has done. It's not an opinion. It's just a fact. And I'm not saying it's going to continue that way. I'm not using that as a statement to say that Sam Darnold's better than Baker Mayfield. Not doing that. I think they both have been playing awesome this season. I think both teams have been great this season. Undeniably. But Baker just had one of his worst performances, and I do not expect it to continue. So again, don't flood the comments with you're being a hater. I'm not. I literally said when he had that game, I didn't say, I told you all Baker's not that good. Never said that. Never said that once. Never said, see the Bucks their bubble has popped. Never said that. Never said that. I said I specifically do not expect that play of Baker to continue. And I said, if anything, Bucks fans should be encouraged because the plays were there. Their quarterback just missed a lot and plays that he would normally at least hit half the time, which then would bode well for you against the Detroit Lions. But he still showed that his floor in that moment was really bad. It just was. It's an objectively true statement. So then why would the Seahawks be so much lower? Like it doesn't actually make sense. It's just because of what I believe. And it's just like, then this is the thoughts and feelings tiers then. So, I don't know. And it's just like, yeah. I mean, I get the questions about like the 49ers because they do have crazy injuries. And the Broncos, they are winning, but they're not quite, playing what they should be. Their offense has not quite clicked yet, So and the Bengals are intriguing. They're definitely intriguing with Joe Burrow. And the Dallas Cowboys, their offense has been amazing, but their defense has been horrendous. The problem is that I don't know. Everything just feels too made up to me at this point. This season has been so messy with the herd hierarchy, with the tiers, and all these other things. And that's why I was like, how can I just make this more narrow, more zoomed in, so we can seemingly actually have conversations that are a little bit more rooted rather than just kind of like whatever. Because yeah, I mean, the truth is even these tiers, I was joking when I said I love it. No, I actually hate it, or whatever the heck I said. It's not even that I even inherently feel that way. It's just I don't know. It just feels like a great big mess to me. It really does. It really does. I mean, Nick a couple weeks ago had the Jags as a top 10 team. Because I made a clip about it, and I was like, he's only saying that because if the Chiefs beat the Jags, he's going to be like, oh, they beat a top 10 team. And then lo and behold, the Jags beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs, his beloved Chiefs, and then they lose against the Rams, who are seemingly a top team, and the Seahawks, who are a top-ish team. And now that caused the Jags to just plummet. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably just leave it at that, because it is a shame. There's just so many handful of teams where you really are like, well, are you gonna get healthy, or are you gonna be able to maintain this? Can your defense get better as the season progresses? This year is just a definition of speculation. It's just chaos and speculation. I believe the Colts aren't going to be able to continue this. I believe the Patriots are, a little inflated. I believe the Eagles won't be able to put this together. I believe the Rams will be able to sustain. I believe the Lions are actually better than the Packers, even though the Packers beat the Lions. I believe that the Chargers can't withstand their injury. It's just a lot of belief right now, which there's nothing inherently wrong with it. Honestly, I'm just trying my best to try to focus on what we're seeing this season, especially when we have such interesting prospects ahead of us, specifically in terms of interest, that we haven't really just fundamentally seen, is like Sam Darnold with the Seahawks, Drake May with the Patriots, Daniel Jones with the Indianapolis Colts, Mac Jones in the 49ers. Like, it's just like we don't really have strong evidence in any direction necessarily. And I just don't want to continue these weeks just constantly leaning on doubt just because we haven't seen it. That's not inherently fun for me personally. And I just think some of these tiers sometimes highlight that in a way that I find not as interesting personally. That's just my honest reaction to the unfolding of how this season has unfolded. I don't know if you guys feel that way. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about these tiers? How do you feel about these rankings? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.